All right, all right, all right. Yes, I love that song. I love our intro music. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up. Your host, David Washington, Joe Hawksley. We are your political innovators here at the Jay and Washington Network. And Joel, good to hear from you. We're going to jump right into it. A very short introduction. Donald J. Trump wins the Iowa caucuses and consolation prizes for Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Let's go.
Well, what can we say? A bunch of people get in a room and, just don't have to be Iowans to go into the caucus. So, how many people do you think decided that they wanted to come up to Iowa and be part of the caucus process?
Indeed. A lot of Floridian DeSantis operatives definitely showed up in Iowa to caucus or at least knock on doors and support the governor. And with what, 14% turnout and the second place showing, those efforts were for naught,
Well,
unfortunately,
I
for
mean,
DeSantis.
the banks were closed, so those were probably the people that actually, you know, have a federal job that could vote. Uh, Iowa just underwhelming what happened. 51%. You would think that the second tier candidates could have pulled in more than that. Vivek Ramaswamy is out. He's now endorsed Donald Trump, which is no surprise. Oh, uh, too much money. I think too much money poured in to that DeSantis campaign to get 21%. 21%, I think it was.
I believe it was 21%.
I,
Yes.
I am sitting here in awe. And oh, yay, you beat Nikki. Well, guess what? Nikki only lost by a few percentage points, and you're not even, you're not even got New Hampshire. So you need to go into New Hampshire. This is Donald Trump's uh, election. He's going to get the nomination. I don't know why we have people investing in the down tiers, but hey, you know, I am I am truly becoming a bigger fan of the the ambassador. She is doing a bang up job. She's bringing in voters that are typical traditional Republicans coming out to, uh, and we'll see those numbers. Those are traditional Republicans right there. Those are the ones that do the research. They actually do the research. So I'm impressed.
Right. It was 14% turnout. It was a cold night in Iowa. Um, what can Trump take from this? I mean, the enthusiasm level wasn't what I think he would want it to be. Um, Granted, he did get what, 51% of the vote, but that's 51% of a very small amount of individuals. The rural areas came out in his favor. I believe Haley and DeSantis did a little bit better in the suburbs and in the urban areas. Trump did better with those with a high school education or lower, or I'm sorry, I take that back, with some college education or lower. Um, it's a win. A win's a win. Um, Even though it's
Hasn't had Donald Trump hasn't had a win in a long time. So this must make him feel really good because now he's telling everybody. I started to listen to his speech, and
mm,
I'm tired of this. I'm tired of listening to the talk about voting by mail. This was a caucus. They all have to come
I
out in person. So I don't even know why he mentioned that unless he's thinking that New Hampshire, he's going to have some problem in New Hampshire. I look, I don't know why he wants
they're
to
going to continue.
attack.
He's
the
going to
voting
continue
system.
this
Like,
same line. He's going to continue the same line, and you say it enough times, people will start believing it, even though it's not true. People will start believing it, and maybe he's setting the stage that when he loses to Biden or the Democratic nominee, whoever that will be, he's already set the stage for people to have a negative reaction to the loss. This was a diluted win for Trump. He has to stay on message. And do you expect anything less from your eventual nominee? You,
yeah,
I think
you, so you're right. And what you have to look at in this election is you need to take and look at the second tier and how that, how that came out. Yeah. So if Donald Trump wasn't in this election, small group of people came out.
whoever he is.
DeSantis shifts his attention to a negative campaign. And who did he shift that campaign to? He didn't shift it to Donald Trump. So there was no effort to beat Donald Trump.
None.
There was no effort. There was no
None of
effort.
these
There
none of
was no.
these
There was no. There
Republicans
was
want to
no.
take on Donald Trump. None of them.
There's there's no effort to take out Donald Trump, and that's the whole reason you run for president, right? You don't run
You
for
think?
second place because so you can see with Nikki Haley's fundraising, it's going astronomical. Second place, she's still going to come out with even bigger numbers in fundraising. Where's that money coming from? I mean, there's a group of people. Are they abandoning? Are they abandoning somebody else, or are they just
The
so
question is
frustrated?
why? Why are they investing in Haley? Why are they investing in
I,
DeSantis?
I
The
know why they're.
Trump is a phenomena among Republicans. And and I'm thinking, maybe the media is feeding into this whole narrative so that they can have, viewerships and thus sponsors and advertisers. But this is, for the most part, it's theoretically over. Eh,
Well, David, the dynamics change if it becomes a two-person race. Then then you start listen. Then you start seeing where his weaknesses, where his weaknesses are, just his weaknesses, and then
okay.
I would use
All right.
that. I would
All right.
use that. I would use that to an advantage to say, look, this is where we need to shore up our base.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a little secret sauce, y'all. As you look at the primary system, you look at states like Colorado or Nevada or Arizona, and you look at who's in control of those state GOP parties, and you'll see a lot of the leadership is aligned with Donald J. Trump. Some of these GOP state parties have changed their rules to help Trump secure the nomination. They're trying to do that in California.
I'm not.
They've already
Listen,
achieved that. They've already achieved that in other states. I believe Colorado, in Arizona, and in Michigan. I've got not so much Michigan. They got their
listen.
own.
Maine just
However,
listen. If the state's not,
he's
if the
wait, wait,
state's
wait,
not trying to throw him off the ballot,
he's got the endorsements here in Florida. He's got it locked up. Um,
again, I
he's
think you're
got
missing the point.
he has no. The point has already been made by Trump. He's got
I'm
state
talking about what
legislatures.
my
He's got
statement
state
was.
legislatures. I'm not legislatures. State party GOP party locked up already. They're changing the rules for him. They're making sure that he's showing up
that-
on the
That's
ballot.
that's not the
It's
point.
over.
The
It's over. There's no sense
the reason
in
they
running.
need somebody, the reason you need somebody in there through the primary process is because they will want to see. There'll be a knockout period point, but they're going to want to see where he needs to shore up his base. I mean, this is clearly, if it's a two-person race, then you really clearly see, okay, this is where the shift is. All we're seeing right now is, okay, how much does DeSantis pull from Trump? So you can't get a full picture of Trump with the two, so when you say what does Nikki bring to the table, she brings a balance where you can start to see where those trends are. I mean, the
Nikki and
Democrats the
DeSantis
Democrats are
are
trying to keep
cannon
up.
fodder. I
The
mean,
Democrats
there's
the
nothing,
Democrats don't even want.
there's nothing more for Trump to do to secure the base. The base is MAGA. Period. These are the hardcore supporters in the
I'm not saying
Republican
that they have
Party
a
who
chance.
will
I'm still not
support.
saying
They don't have a chance. It's done. It's over. DeSantis
that's
needs to
not.
come back to Florida and participate in this legislative session or something.
Listen,
They're
David,
not,
I don't want
they're not
anybody.
getting past Super Tuesday.
David, I don't want
DeSantis probably
anybody to
won't
drop
get
out.
past their South Carolina
David, the reason I don't want anybody to drop out is because I want there to be competition because Trump's old. I
performance.
don't care what you say. He could not wait. There's a point he might listen. I know he's probably in perfect health. He's always great. He's always perfect. But what if? And I'm always the what if guy. I want that. Hey, what if Donald Trump doesn't wake up tomorrow? We at least have a candidate. You know how hard it would be to do anything without a nominee? Hey, I know where your nominee comes from in the Democrats if Biden's gone. The vice president already there. He's not dropping her from the ticket. You think somebody else is going to step up if all of a sudden Biden doesn't wake up tomorrow and she becomes the president? They won't even let guys on the ballot in the Democratic Party. I mean, come on. You're
The
throwing
Republican
people
Party,
you're throwing people off the
the
ballot for
Republican
different
Party
reasons.
is the Trump Party. If that's your nominee. Embrace it, live it, learn it. That's what's going to happen. Everything from this point on is performative. It makes for good, political theater after a while, but it's already old right now. It's old. It is very old as Donald J. Trump and Joseph Biden. Trump is going to be your nominee. The deck is stacked against Nikki Haley. And you know how I feel about Ron DeSantis. Come on home, Ron. We're ready. Come on. Come on home, Ron. Come on home.
David, you make this so it's very funny because it's like
It's
I
a
get
sad
the fact.
truth.
Listen. I've never said. Have I ever said that anybody was going to beat Donald Trump since we've had these conversations? That I believe that Donald Trump owns the party. I see it from the ground. I know that the people that vote, at least in Iowa, they had to admit that they don't like Donald Trump because they go in a room and they get separated into different sections. Here, we're gonna have our first primary. Okay, so I don't weigh anything on Iowa. Iowa's fun, but it's cold, and people don't need to come out on a federal holiday to vote. How many people vote on Monday in any election? So I don't think they take it serious
Well, a
to
holiday
have
attack too.
I mean, that's always on a holiday. It's always on MLK's birthday now. I mean, look, you don't put him on Tuesday even, so I don't get it. That should be like a Saturday thing event, if you want anybody to show up, but make it at least a weekend if you're just looking for a day off to get people out. But David, I do enjoy the second tier. Uh, I will tell, I like Nikki. I think Nikki brings a whole different perspective to the party. I think that people overlook the fact that Donald Trump brings more minorities into our party every day, even though he's being called a racist. Our party's voting. We have more black males voting in the Republican Party. We have our registration is up. I think the way we've tackled the abortion issue has been piss poor, to say the least. I think I've been clear on that. Uh, Donald Trump should smack Lindsey Graham for saying, or any Republican that says, hey, we should have a federal law to protect life. I think the whole point was to not. But I like the conversation. I like to have a conversation. I don't want the conversation over in the Republican Party, at least with Nikki in there or Trump in or DeSantis in there, you're having a conversation. I prefer it to be a two-person party. I would like my governor to come back. Really, I'm trying to figure out who the new supervisor of elections is going to be down in Orange County. That's something that you can put it off because you're running for president, but we don't want it to go vacant. So you have just a couple of days. Look, I will say this, and I will alienate. I will support Nikki Haley if it gets to the point where she comes on the Florida ballot. 100%. I'm done. I'll finally make my selection. So right here, right now, I support Nikki Haley. I think she is the future of the party. I want to look to the future. I'm done with the old. Um, when, look, they can have all the liberal ideas that they want, but we want to get the party back to where it is. We need people like Nikki and her voice.
I think there's no turning back from Trumpism, MAGA. I believe the future of the party is the Marjorie Taylor Greens, Lauren Boeberts, the Carrie Lakes, Jeff Jordan. Uh, the Republicans have made their bed. They made their bed with Matt Gaetz, and this
Your
is
next,
this
your
is
next
the
governor,
yeah, next governor. Maybe, hopefully, it's
Matt
someone
Gates.
else.
I
But
mean,
this is the Republican Party, and the Democrats are not too far behind. There's some issues
Matt
there, but
Matt Gates, Jerry
America,
Demings. Like
America deserves more choices, more opportunities to make those choices. I don't like
so
how the
David,
I wait. I don't like how the Florida Democratic Party has frozen out other potential candidates for the March presidential preference um, election. I wish we had the opportunity to vote for Dean Phillips, vote for other Democrats. There's our
well,
friends with the No Labels Party
see, it's all
party
right for him.
put
It's all
together
right for David to
to
put
put
people.
together a slate of candidates to run for president, and
Yeah.
the more options, the better. I believe for
Well,
America.
wait a minute. Didn't you just tell me like the show is over? The show's been over in your party, so you want to add people? I mean, look,
No,
we have
personally, I would like the
we
opportunity to vote for a Dean Phillips.
yeah, well, that's why I don't
Just
want
saying.
these. That's why I don't want these second tier candidates to drop off my ticket. So, David, we have a great episode coming up. We've already had the conversation. Uh, let our viewers know about our opportunities. Sit with Holly Page and
Yes, indeed. We had the opportunity to sit with Holly Page. She is senior advisor and national co-director of the No Labels Party. We had a conversation. We hope to have that conversation available to you by January 25th. I think you'll find it a very thrilling interview. Also included in that interview was her regional director, Amanda Vasquez. So it was a very enjoyable moment. We look forward to bringing that conversation to our community, our audience, and hopefully you'll find it also an intelligent conversation, an enjoyable conversation, a informative conversation.
well, so David, should I go to the party meeting tonight? I mean, it starts at 7 o'clock. Have I given up on my party or what? I don't know what to say. Seminole
Don't give up.
County.
We need conservative candidates. We need more conservative candidates in our portfolio. So don't give up, Joel. Don't give up.
Well, listen, I appreciate the Iowa caucuses, but I don't put the metal into them. I Let's look at this primary. Let's see where this primary leads us. It'll give us some good answers. People up in New Hampshire will probably end up voting for Trump. I'm pretty darn sure. But let's just I want to watch Nikki's numbers because I think DeSantis is just a clone of Donald Trump.
Agreed.
Um, it's well, I want choices, so um, there would no way I would ever vote for Christie in any lifetime. So I'm glad to see that he's gone back. He's had the surgery and he still hasn't lost a lot of weight. I'm sorry. Yes, I said it. I just listen.
Oh,
I'm not picking on him for that. I just think that he was an anti-Trump. See, even I'm not anti-Trump. I call balls and strikes. I think a good baseball game, White Sox against the Blue Jays, that's the kind of stuff I like. American League teams going at it head to head. So I love good competition. And he was just anti-Trump. I mean, everything was a strike. Everything was a foul ball.
maybe he
So
was that canary in the coal mine.
ooh, he died quick. So, I mean, last time he jumped out of a race, he endorsed Donald Trump like seconds afterwards. So, you
Maybe
can't.
this time is much different. But he's the
So,
Republican canary in the coal mine. Maybe we'll do an episode about that.
yeah, well, I appreciate it. And again, Iowa was Iowa was a disaster for second tier candidates in the fact that the whole point was to keep Donald Trump under 50%. You all lose, unfortunately. And that's the final say. Like you're right, David. This was an embarrassment. The Republican Party here in Florida, especially, was embarrassed. I mean, you put all that emphasis into Iowa. Your focus was not on District 35 where it needed to be. Um, you lost a winnable seat, and a message was sent by the MPAs. That's another episode. But thank you, David. I want you to have your final word before we ask for likes and shares and uh, and subscriptions.
Right. I was hoping to see a bigger turnout, especially with the investment that the DeSantis Super PAC made in their ground game. Touching 800,000 doors. It's impressive, and to see the turnout the way it was, and maybe it was the weather, but Iowans are used to this type of weather, right? That's my final thought.
Well, everybody, please like and share and get involved. We love your comments. Uh, like David always says, bring your facts, not your feelings. We don't care about your feelings. I hope I said it right, David.
I'll take it. And this is where we cue the police canary in the coal mine, right?
Well, my my jokes don't go over.
We see you the next time. Like, share, subscribe to The Informer. Hey, comment. You're our community. We want to hear what you have to say. We'll see you the next time.